Welcome back to the Sodak Motorcycle Blog, everybody. If you haven't been here before, they call me Clutch. I'm the founder slash star slash producer slash kind of everything here at Sodak Motorcycle Blog. We release weekly motorcycle videos concerning the Black Hills of South Dakota and Honda Goldwings, and just in a little bit of Sturgis Rally and various other things. We also do a series that's called the Rider's Manual Common Tasks, and in my mind, these are just, they're common tasks, common things that I think every rider should know. Well, for today's Rider's Manual Common Tasks, we're going to talk about, and could be a little bit of controversial as far as whether this is a task that you should know or not, but my Rider's Manual Common Task today is how to get to a motorcycle rally, what you need to do to get to it. Now, this is once again another talking head video, as we have, two reasons. I've been really slacking with getting the bike out this year, and also the weather hasn't really played in our favor the last few weeks, especially on the weekends. It's been great during the week, the weekends not so much, so I can't be shooting videos when I'm at work, and I can't just leave work whenever I want to. I mean, I can, but I need to take leave, and I don't really want to burn leave making motorcycle videos in the spring. I'd rather do that in the summer. But, so, your first rally, and the reason why this might be a controversial topic is a lot of riders out there just aren't fans of rallies, and I don't blame them, because they're not really, in my mind, a motorcycle rally isn't a place you generally go to expect, some really great riding. A lot of times because you're dealing with traffic, you're dealing with other things. A lot of the point of the rally isn't so much the ride. It's more of a, hey, let's go look at custom bikes, and let's go party at this concert and that stuff. So that's kind of what rallies become. But I know there's some of you that want to go to a rally. Maybe you've been to a few before. Maybe you're just someone out there that you really want to go to a motorcycle rally, but you're kind of just on the fence, and you're nervous, and you don't know maybe what you're looking for. Well, this right here, this is the place you want to be. So I'm going to go through, I made a list of just some things you should know about motorcycle rallies and some things you should plan out. We're not really going to go into depth as far as detailed, demonstrating this. We're just going to talk through it. So once again, let's get to it. So one of the first things I'm going to say about going to a motorcycle rally is you need to save some cash. And why do you need to save that cash? Well, rallies can be quite expensive. They're expensive to go to. They just are. Even on a motorcycle, they can be quite expensive. And a lot of this just stems from the fact is a lot of motorcycle rallies, and a lot of this is going to be based towards Sturgis, is there's not a ton of hotel rooms in the Black Hills. I mean, there's a decent amount, but not, especially within Sturgis proper, there isn't many hotels at all. So, obviously, rules of supply and demand is, well, when there's limited supply and increased demand, prices can get jacked up, and that's what happens. And that's what happens for everything. Not only hotel rooms, but food, fuel, depending on if you got to get some work done. There's a lot of things where the price just goes up, and unfortunately, it's just kind of how it is during the rally. Once again, you have a limited supply and an increased demand, and the prices will go up. And frankly, if there's people aren't stopping going to rallies, doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. So they're going to keep coming, which means there's going to be still that demand on the supply, which is limited. So once again, prices are going to go up. So, like I said, save a bunch of cash, have your cash figured out, have that situation figured out before you go, because you'd hate to get there and find out you can't do anything because you didn't budget enough money. So, second thing, you need to know how you're getting there. Now, you may say, "Oh, this is a stupid easy one," but there are things to consider because, like I said, there's several ways you can get there. Obviously, you can ride your motorcycle there. You can tow it there. You can pull it in your toy hauler or pull it behind an RV. Heck, you can ship it and fly in. But either way, you need to figure out how you're going to get there. Because, obviously, things change depending on how you're getting there. If you're riding there, well, awesome. You're not going to save near as much on fuel, but maybe when you get to the rally, you may have to buy a tent, or you may have to spend more on a hotel room because your bike doesn't have enough room for a tent. Or if you're towing, you're going to have to factor in how much it's going to cost to actually, pull that behind your pickup or whatever you're pulling with. Same with an RV, same with a camper. You're going to have to think about those expenses. And here's another thing I'm going to put in here for knowing how you're going to get there. I'd say think about your passenger or your co-rider. Think about them for a second because, well, most seats are just not good enough for a passenger. They're just not. And, think about them when you think about how you're getting there. Like, maybe don't just automatically go, oh, well, we're just going to ride there and they're just going to have to deal with it. Well, if you say that and you're just going to ride there and they're just going to deal with it 2,000 miles later when you're fine, or 1,000 miles later or whatever when you're there, and well, now they're frustrated because they're sore as heck because they've been on the back of a motorcycle that's not very comfortable for many, many hours on end, and they might not have a good time when they get there because they're kind of worn down from the ride. So don't just think of yourself, think of what your passenger's going through as well. Honestly, there's no shame in towing it. I know that's the whole taboo at rallies is, oh, don't ride, don't tow, you ride the thing, don't bring your trailer, whatever. It's like, well, that's all fine and good, but not everybody's set up to ride across country with their motorcycle. And, maybe you ride a Sportster across the country all the time and you're tough, but you're a limited population. Most people aren't as tough as you. So, including probably your passengers. So, like I said, think about them for a second. Plus, the other thing to consider when how you're getting there is how much time do you have to get there? If you only got a week off and it takes you 2 or 3 days on a motorcycle to get there, well, now you've got a week off. Well, let's say 2 days going there, 3 days going back. That's 5 days. There's 5 of your 7 days are already gone just trying to get there. So that's another thing. You pull a trailer behind a pickup. It's a lot easier to get there. Obviously, you're out of the elements. You're in air conditioning or heat, and you're out of the rain. You're out of all that stuff. And there's sometimes, like me and my wife, anytime we're going places, there are times where it is nice to have to pull it with the pickup, because then it's one less day we got to worry about that we got to get tired riding on that motorcycle. So please think about that. All right. Next thing, reservations. So with reservations, and I'm talking about staying reservations here, you're going to want to make those very early, especially if you're picky. If you are one of those types that I do a hotel and that's what I do and that I don't do anything else, well, you might want to get picky about it, because yeah, you can make a hotel reservation, the week of the rally, but there's a good shot. I can guarantee it probably isn't going to be in Sturgis. You probably won't be in Spearfish. You might not be in Rapid City. You might be all the way out in Wall or Hot Springs or Gillette, Wyoming. You might be that far out. So if you're really picky on where you stay, make the reservations early. I'd say right now you're getting to that point where you're just about too late. And this goes for camping as well. If you have a camper and you want full hookups and you want sewer hookups and everything else, well, same deal. Those tend to fill up first. So if you're really picky about your reservations, make them now. Now, if you don't mind roughing it, I can tell you this much. You could decide on the Thursday before rally begins to come to the rally, and you'd probably find a place to camp. And you probably could get by, actually pretty cheap. But you're also going to be probably truly roughing it. You're probably not going to have electric. It's probably going to be a long walk to wherever your toilet is. It's probably going to be a porta potty. Showering, you may have to go, ride a few miles down the road and go find a place that you can actually shower. I mean, you're going to be roughing it a little bit more, but if you don't mind that, you can camp wherever, then yeah, you can come plenty late if you want. So here's another one, and we're going to probably stoke some more controversy here, but make sure that you can actually ride. And what I mean by this is actually have some abilities. Your first ride after years of not riding should not be going to the Sturgis Rally or Laconia or Daytona or something like that. But And the reason I say it exactly that way, because you see it all the time. You see it many times. You'll see a lot of either they bought it right before they came, and you can obviously tell that they're not very well experienced in it. And now you're going to put them in a situation like the Sturgis Rally, where you have tight roads up in the hills, lots of traffic, a lot of inattentive drivers, a lot of just stupidity out on the road, and you're trying to learn to ride for the first time. That's a recipe for disaster. So, the inattentive riders, don't forget about them. So you got some that are, well, they're drunk, or they're high on drugs, or they're tired, or they're all three. Also, you gotta beware of the cars as well. Like I said, same deal. They're aggravated because all these extra people are here. So for God's sakes, learn to ride before you come. The one thing I will recommend is you're going to have lots of slow speed maneuvering. You're going to be talking about cramped parking lots, varying degrees of condition, as in pavement to all the way to soft pasture ground. You could ride on all sorts of terrain. So that's where some of your slow speed skills are going to come in handy. And like I said, any skills you work on will pay dividends, but I would especially pay close attention to your slow speed riding skills. Like all that riding around in a parking lot in circles that the MSF teaches that is stupid and you don't need because you run 75 down the road. Well, this might be a situation where it might come in handy. But and just riding in general, that please learn to ride before you come out here. All right. Now, let's talk about our machines themselves. You got to make sure that thing's ready to go. Do your services before you leave. If you know any oil changes to do the oil change. If you know your tires are going to wear out before you go, then change the tires out. Unless you know you got enough tread to get there, and the first thing you're going to do when you get there is a burnout, which, okay, that case, yeah, go ahead, bring the old tire. But if you know darn well things are going to need to get done on that machine before you come here, like I'm talking like you're 1,000 miles away from an oil change. Well, maybe before you come 1,000 miles here, just do the oil change before you go. Things like that. Take care of that stuff before you leave. You break down on the road, that just sucks and it's not fun. And you break down in the right way, you may have more issues than you bargained for, more than just if it's a tire that blows out on you. Well, you got two tires on two wheels and one of those tires blow out. I mean, think about it. You're probably going to be in trouble. So make sure you got the maintenance on that on your motorcycle done as well. Just make sure, even if all you do is just check the fluids to make sure they're all topped up before you go, and check to make sure your tire pressure is right before you go, at least you did something. I mean, do the whole T-clocks. Do it before you go. You should do it before every ride, but frankly, before a long trip, you should pay extra attention to what's going on with it. Okay, so number 6, you need to ride straight. And I don't think I need to explain that. Is basically you want to avoid drinking and riding at all costs if you can. It's first of all, it's not safe. Generally not safe. It's your inhibitions are lower, your reaction time gets lower. But also, frankly, at Sturgis, Sturgis, and pretty much I'm guessing most rallies are like Sturgis, there's really no reason to get one. Most of them got a bus service. In Sturgis, we have the bus, and that's like the Bears, but it's DA bus. So it's the bus. So you have that. I think a rally pass is like maybe $100, but I think for the day it's like $20. It's frankly a lot cheaper than a DUI. It just is. So, and the bus goes everywhere in Sturgis. So, you know what? If you just want to just really tie one on, take the bus, okay? And don't take your motorcycle down to Main Street thinking you're going to leave it there overnight, because they come through and tow motorcycles at 2 a.m. Now, they do this because it's so they can, clean the streets and make sure things are good to go. At least that's the official story. Honestly, we all know what it is. It's just a great cash grab, but we're just going to leave that at that. So, also, there's plenty to do at the campgrounds at night. If you're at one of the big campgrounds, you really, to me, don't have a need to leave it once you're parked for the night. And then save that drinking fun for there. Don't mix the drinking and riding, because it's a recipe for disaster anytime, but especially when you get into something like the Sturgis Rally with the increased traffic, the increased people that can't ride. riding in unfamiliar areas. You throw all that in there, it's just not going to work out for you. And also, and we're going to get to this next one, but the police are everywhere and they're looking for this stuff. Now, if you aren't 100% going to avoid drinking and riding, then know your limits. Like if you know that you can have, one beer and you're fine, okay, then, but don't go further than that. Know where your limit is, so that way you can get yourself to where you need to go if you're going to insist on drinking and riding. Now, I don't know if that's the best advice in the world, but I give that advice because I'm not going to sit here and preach to you like you shouldn't do it, because I've also done it before. I've also had a beer and gone for a ride. I do it quite a bit, actually. So, but ideally, no drinking and riding, but if you're going to, know your limits. Okay, so another one here, and I talked about this just a little bit ago, but you need to be mindful of the law. And that's because there's a very extensive police presence during the Sturgis Rally. And not just in town, but you get outside of all the towns. There's highway patrol everywhere on the interstate, everywhere on the highways. You get in Sturgis proper, when you're down there on Main Street, usually every Main Street intersection has at least 2 to 4 police officers in every intersection, just sitting there in the intersection. Not to mention, you've got tons of roving patrols. I would be willing to bet a busy day, Main Street, Sturgis, just ballparking it, I would be willing to bet there's easily 20 to 25 police presence just right down there in that little downtown core there. But they're all over the place. They're all over town. They're looking for people to break the laws because, well, people come to rally and do it a lot. They're also looking for DUIs, a lot of DUIs. They get a lot of DUIs. What else do they get? And like I said before, there's highway patrol over, there's roving patrols all over. It's just, like I said, the presence is there. So if you're going to come with intentions of breaking the law, I don't know, maybe find a better place to do it, or maybe just don't do it during the rally, because, I don't know, I feel like you're asking for trouble. Another part of this, and we're going to talk about this extensive police presence, is South Dakota is not 420 friendly. I repeat, South Dakota is not 420 friendly. And if I need to explain it to you, basically you can't have recreational marijuana in the state of South Dakota. We can barely have legal medical marijuana in the state, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get repealed this election. It's just this is not the state this is not, any of the other states that allow it. It's South Dakota, and frankly, I don't think we're ever going to allow it recreationally. Now, regardless of what you think is right or wrong or whatever, I'm just telling you, it is what it is. South Dakota is not 420 friendly, so keep that in mind. And talking about that some more, don't come to distribute, as in don't come bringing drugs. Because if you do, well, you're going to spend a long time in a certain razor wire fenced in location on a hill in Sioux Falls. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm pretty sure you can figure out what that is. Also, another thing about Sturgis is one big speed trap. It is. So, well, first of all, the interstate it goes down, normally it goes down from 65 down in Box Elder, and it'll stay at 65 miles an hour up until past Deadwood Avenue. Well, during the rally, it'll stay 65, that whole stretch there. Also, as far as Sturgis goes, they sign at 35 from pretty much the edge of Sturgis, and it'll stay 35 all the way up, even well past. It'll stay 35 all the way up to the Buffalo Chip. And then it'll go up to the normal speed, which is way further than it normally is. So what I'm saying is Sturgis is one big speed trap. So maybe mind your speed. Granted, if you're flowing with traffic on the interstate is one thing, but especially if it's night and there ain't a lot of vehicles out, and maybe you're being legal, but you don't want to mess with any BS that night, maybe stay at the speed limit through that zone, because it's pretty easy to single you out if you're 10 over in a zone that's signed and you're the only one there. It's pretty easy to pull you over. So keep that in mind. Also, another fun one, and this is one I think is complete crock, but this is the Sturgis PD. They have this obsession with, they want to pull you over for a 1-foot stop, because in their mind, their legal definition of a stop is 2 feet. So I've never actually, I still 1-foot stop all the damn time. I just do. But I've never actually been nabbed for putting one foot down. I have a feeling what they're getting for more with this obsession over, oh, you got to have a 2-foot stop. I think it's for the ones that just slow down to like nothing and don't put their foot down at all and go. And like I said, it's more of just another excuse for, because although they are enforcing laws and trying to keep people safe, they're also, let's be honest, they're looking for reasons to pull you over. That's just what it is. So honestly, don't give them another reason to pull you over. Just don't. It's too easy. It's a too easy of a thing to deal with. Even as much as I grumble about their obsession with, oh, you got to have 2 foot down when you stop. Okay, fine, whatever. But although, like I said, I'll still 1 foot stop a lot because, well, it's hard to break a habit, right? So another thing you need to figure out when you're trying to decide what you're going to do or go to your rally. Excuse me. You need to figure out, what do you want out of your rally? Do you want more riding? Do you want more partying? Or do you want to do both? And a lot of that's going to change on where you're going. I'd say if you're looking more for a ride than a party, then I would actually recommend Sturgis, because we have plenty of riding around here. Granted, you're going to have to deal with traffic. What are you doing? Having cat problems. You're going to have to deal with traffic. But if you're from an area that's got a lot of traffic, you'll be fine. You'll be just fine. You're used to it. So you'll be fine there. And like I said, there's plenty of good riding around here. I've never been to Laconia. Okay, where was I at? I got interrupted by a phone call. But hey, good news. My switch is in for my pickup, so my new pickup will finally have full headlights again after a month. But anyways, Fords, right? Anyways, like I said, you got to decide what you want. You can do more both. Rain-wise, stay with Sturgis. Obviously, going to be with more traffic. But I can assume, I've never been to Laconia, but just from seeing pictures and seeing that part of the world, just, for what you read and see, I would say Laconia is probably a good area to ride too. Frankly, if you're more of looking for a party, I'd say you could probably go to any of them, because you can find a party at any of them. The nice thing that I've found with Sturgis is, I think you can, if you like to ride, you can find some enjoyment at the Sturgis Rally. If you like to party, obviously you can find enjoyment at the Sturgis Rally. So I feel like Sturgis does an okay job of where you can blend both. Obviously, just like anything else, it's not going to be 100%. It's kind of like having a small pickup. Yeah, it's smaller and you can move around, but you're still paying just as much for refuel as you do with a big pickup. And you can't haul as much as a big pickup, but you can haul some stuff. And yeah, it's kind of an in-between. It's not the best, but it'll still work. But I would definitely figure out what you want. Now, if you're really more on the side of like, I don't really want to party at all, I just want to ride, then maybe think about, when you're coming, figure out when the big push for your rally is. Now, for Sturgis-wise, if you want something like that, but a little bit of rally, maybe show up the last Friday of rally, where you're getting a little bit of that last weekend, which generally isn't as crazy. And then you get that whole week after it where the hills are pretty much empty. So that might be a good thing to think about of how you want to do that. But either way, you kind of want to figure it out before you go. All right. My gosh, I got a lot of stuff here. Okay. Now remember this when you're doing the rally. And it's just like anything else in life. And the experience is what you make it. So if you come to the rally with a bad attitude, guess what? You're going to have a bad time. In the end, there's going to be crappy parts of it. That's just what it is. I mean, there's 400,000 people that have come into an area of 100,000 people. So obviously it's not ideal. And obviously the infrastructure isn't quite there for that many people. So you kind of just got to come, and you kind of got to just be able to go with the punches, because that's what you do. Frankly, in my mind, if you ride a motorcycle, you kind of need to be that way anyway, because, well, what do you do when that random rainstorm comes up you got to deal with? Or what do you do if you have an issue with your bike when you're riding it? Like, there's things you kind of sometimes got to deal with, and frankly, if you don't roll with the punches with it, well, like I said, I don't know. I feel like that's impossible as a motorcyclist to not kind of have kind of a laid back attitude like that. But Some people are just built different. But either way, bottom line is, it is what you make it. So come with a good attitude. Come to have fun. Find the things that you want and you like and seek them out and enjoy them. For me, being a local, there's a lot of things I could hate about the rally. But what I do during the rally is I go seek out what I want to enjoy, what I want to do. I like to go watch bands. I like to go ride new and different motorcycles. So I go seek that out when I'm out during the rally. You know, that's what I go do, and it helps me a lot. All right, next thing. It doesn't matter what you ride. And we say this all the time. It almost is a cliche now at this point, but here's the thing. It doesn't matter at a rally what you ride. It really doesn't. I mean, I'd say maybe if you're at like the Hog Riders rally, whenever they do it, theirs, okay, you probably need to have a Harley Davidson. But for the most part, like Sturgis Rally, no one cares. Basically, in my mind, you can find a home at rally, whether you have a little tiny Honda Rebel 500 or if you got a Boss Haas. Like, you can find a place that you enjoy at rally. And for the most part, you know, motorcyclists are generally pretty welcoming. You know, yeah, you might get a hard time. Absolutely. It's just like if, you know, you got a Ford and your buddy's got Chevys. Well, your Chevy buddies are going to give you a hard time on your Ford every time there's an issue. And it's going to go the other way for the Chevy guys from the Ford guy. That's just kind of how it is. But the key is to come have a good time. Because inland, like I said, it doesn't matter what you ride. Just come to have a good time. And it's going to get you really far at the rally. And I would guess that is the case at any rally. It's just that motorcycle mentality of like, just the key is to come have a good time. Now, we've talked about this a little bit before, but this is the last thing here. Don't think you only have to do the rally. As in, don't just come thinking, oh, well, if we don't do the rally, then if we can't make it for rally, then we don't even bother coming. Like, let's say you want to come to Sturgis Rally, but you don't have any time off in August this year and you can't get it off. But you know what? Come out in July. You can come out other times of the year. I know for here, like I said before, if you come out not during rally time, the riding actually around here could be more enjoyable. That first, second week of September is a very, I guess, a sneaky good time to come ride around here. Right after Sturgis Rally is another one of those really sneaky good times to come ride around here. And the one thing about it is, like Sturgis, pretty much if you're there in the summer, and heck, they sell t-shirts pretty much all season. Hot Leathers is open all year. Pretty much anywhere that sells t-shirts in Sturgis anymore pretty much is open all year. So if you really need to have your Sturgis Rally shirt, you'll still be able to get it if you come somewhat close to the rally. The other thing with not coming during rally is obviously you're going to deal with less people and things are going to be cheaper. And in my mind, especially out here in the Black Hills, if you really want to experience how great it is, then don't come here during rally. Find a time when there's not a lot of people here. You can really enjoy the roads. You can enjoy the parks. And you really can have a really, really absolutely awesome and good time. But okay. That is my list. I encourage people to, if you have done rallies before, you got any tips or tricks, obviously put them down here in the comments. We'll read them during Comments of Beer, or if you're reading this later and there's some comments there, go ahead and check them out. Leave some comments yourselves, or just comment on the video in general. So, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you dislike this video, hit the dislike button. Please leave comments if you want, good or bad. It's okay. I got thick skin, and honestly, put the comment down. If you don't mind it being read to all the subscribers when I do my monthly Comments and Beer show, then go ahead and write the thing down. So once again, I am Clutch with Sodak Motorcycle Blog. We make weekly motorcycle videos that come out every Thursday at 7 o'clock. If you don't want to remember what that time is, well, when you hit subscribe on the page, you can also hit the bell notification icon, and you'll be reminded of future videos. So anyways, once again, for the Sodak Motorcycle Clutch, I am Blog, or for the Sodak Motorcycle Blog, Clutch, I am Blog. Okay. For the Sodak Motorcycle Blog, I am Clutch. Thanks for stopping by. You have a good day.